Hi guys, have you subscribed to this Donna Dewberry channel? Well, I'm thrilled to come on and share with you lots of lessons, but to do that, I need you to subscribe and go to notifications and ring the bell so that you're notified when I'm coming on. I have lots of special free streaming lessons that are great for you to come on live with me. So please go do that and stay tuned for the lesson. Hello guys. Now this week I am sharing with you the flat brushes, and there are 4 flat brushes in this collection. This is my signature brush collection, the very best quality brushes that I've made, and they have beautiful dipped handles so they feel smooth and wonderful. High quality bristles, high quality ferrule, high quality handles. So what happens though with these handles, you're going to make sure that you do not leave them sitting in the water. Now, I just cleaned my, this is supposed to be clear water. See, clear water. All right, but I want you to see that I raked the sizing out of this brush, okay? You make sure that it's not in there. It's going to be stiff when you start because it's got sizing in it. So we pull out the sizing, and then we're ready to paint. So now what I want to share with you is that as you are painting, clean out the brush and lay it to the side, all right? The flat brushes is the biggest technique I do, is using the most of my technique is using the flat brushes. So I'd love to share that with you. Now in my value packer brushes with the dark green handle, there are other size brushes than what we're using here. There's 2s, there's 8s, there's 10s, there's different size brushes. All right. But these are the most used brushes that I would want in a very high quality brush set. All right. So these are on my onestroke.com site. And I share more and more ways of ways for you to use them. The dark green handle brushes are the value packs. They are less expensive and they're good brushes. So if you want to start out that way, you're fine. And then you can't do a good stroke if you don't have a good chisel. See this chisel? This right here is the chisel, and this is the flat of the brush. So as we're loading and working with the flat brushes, I'm sharing that with you. I'm also in this, we got a lot to share with you, but the liner brush is one last brush I'm going to go over with y'all on the next week so that you will have all the brushes covered. All right, so I'm going to bring some paper out here. I also want to share with you that I meant to put press and seal. Press and seal. All right, it's a kitchen wrap, and I put this inside my basin, and I use my scruffy brush, and I push it down in every cubby, and then I can peel it off and throw it away in between. But guess what? I started loading this before I did this. Now this has a sticky side, and okay, and it just goes right in here. And you can get this to stay down with my scruffy. Okay. And when I was doing when I did the shopping channels, and I have 6 different segments, we do that, but guess what? We can't go eat till we get rid of the paint, clean it out. And that used to be a big ordeal. So now I just peel it out, go eat, come back, we start fresh. All right. So this is made so this washes out also in the sink. When I'm all done with this, I could take and scrub with my scruffy and clean out all these cubbies. But as you can tell, I didn't clean it really good because I had so much to do. Also, before I get started, I wanted you to know that, oh, by the way, I have a Band-Aid. Please excuse my Band-Aid because I popped my thumbnail off and it's very painful. So I'm using floating medium, and that's in the center. And that's the fluff in the paint with no color in it, no pigment. Because we do not use water except to clean out the brushes. That's why it doesn't matter to me that my water's a little yellow from cleaning my brushes. All right, because I don't paint with water. All right, So I'm going to just paint a few strokes and share with you with our multi-surface paint. So this paint is luscious and wonderful and creamy. It also goes on glass, metal, wood, all sorts of surfaces because it has a sealer in it, has a beautiful, luscious satin finish. When you base coat your canvases or whatever, I use my sponge painters to base coat canvases and to do ombres and different backgrounds. Well, then when I start painting on top, make sure your background's dry. But when I start painting on top, if I don't like something, I just take a wet paper towel and wipe it off because it's got this luscious, great sealer in the background. All right, so those are the paints that we're using. And I'll tell you the paints as I use them, the colors that I've got here, okay? So this double loader tool has a lid and it has, I just had the lid here. Oh, well, it's got a lid that pops on top. So your paint will stay dry, stay wet for you if you have to run an errand or whatever. So it makes it really nice. I also have the cap that goes on top of this so it doesn't run all over. And that's my pet peeve, is that when I'm painting and the floating medium goes into everything. Also, if you're using fabric paints, you're going to love this, or any of the paints that are runny, like metallics. They're more like a gel, so they just will run into each other. This way it saves you money because your paint doesn't blend into the others by running into it and having a big mess. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so first thing I want to show you is the larger brush. This is my 3/4, my most used brush for my painting. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and show you that I've dampened this brush first. And let's go a little bit closer because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the two colors. All right, so I'm going to go back and forth, pick that up. All right, and I split the brush when I pick that up. I'm going to come to an empty cubby and I'm going to go push hard, 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 fast and hard. Not because I want you to be quick, but because it works the paint inside the bristles. So in those bristles, if you have paint inside, that makes the bristles stick together as you're stroking. All right, so I picked up once, I pick up again. This time, don't push so hard. Just go back and forth, and it gives you a nice blend on top of the bristles, okay? So what I want is at least 2/3 full of paint. All right, so this is a nice blend here, but on both sides, I might want to get that blend in there. All right, so then I can add, if I want to add more color, I could come over here and dip a corner of white or a corner of yellow and work that in. Okay, now I'm going to go paint, but I'm going to be on paper. So paper is going to be dry. So I can't use water. So, or you won't get your blending and shading. So I want you to see, I just dip just a little bit, 1, 2, and I go paint. Now this should feel when you're painting like butter. Okay. So I want you to see that I'm going, it's dripping. So I'm going to do a V and make a line for a Y. And I'm going to go right here and go 1, 2, 3 to blend it. I'm going to scrub with pressure and get a seashell. So 1, 2, 3. Now I want you to see, I want my handle pretty much up in the air. I want the handle up, but I'm sometimes tilt it slightly so you can see. All right, then I'm pulling it to wherever I'm going. Now, when I'm doing this, I want you to know something here. As I go there, I'm keeping, there's like a magnet right there that keeps that light green there. And then I turn and stand up. All right, so I got dry right there. All right, so I'm going to go back into my medium and go back and forth in my cubby. And I can go right on top of this again. Now stand up, stop wiggling, and slide. All right. Now, I want you to see, I'm going to go back here again. Now I'm going to put the dark green in the middle. And I'm going to keep the dark green in the middle. See that? And I'm going to see a shell. As soon as I see the shell, I turn and slide to the tip. All right, so then if I pull the stem right in there, you have this leaf looks like it's coming up towards me, and this one's rolling back. That's pretty dark. I like more of a better blend than that. All right, so what I want to share with you is all I did was come here and flatten the brush a little bit more. But if you come here, let's actually pick up some aqua and sap. All right, this is aqua green and sap green. I didn't tell you this is daffodil yellow, citrus green, sap green, and aqua. All right, so what I want to share with you also is that to practice, you can start going like this, back and forth. And I'm scrubbing with my hand. So scrub, and just my fingers are scrubbing. All right, so that's a good point. The other thing I want to share with you is that this is what most people do. They stay up on the chisel. All right, focus. It doesn't like to wait sometimes. All right, so this is what most people do. All right, now that's that, or they go like this and they smush it. All right, so this is wrong and this is wrong. All right, so this is up on the chisel, this is smashed down really hard. Now what I want you to be is half sprung. Half sprung. So that is not here and not there, but halfway. And so if I'm halfway, I have a spring. Okay, so look at this, halfway. And then you do your strokes. So let's try this again. We're gonna do our wide. This shows you where the point of the leaf goes. 1, 2, 3, scrub. Stop wiggling it when I see the shell and slide. It's getting dry there. All right, so I go back here and get some more paint. Get some medium. It needs to feel like butter. And go right back over this and slide. Now that paint on that side I just used, but this side still got lots of paint. So I scrub. See my seashell? And stand up. So when you stand up, you also slide. So this chisel, when I push down, stand up, and slide to a point. All right, push down, pressure, stand up, stand up, stand up, and slide to a point. All right, and then you take that whole chisel and you make stems in the middle. All right, now this also makes beautiful flower petals. I'm just going to share with you. All right, so I just want you to know, hear that? I'm raking the brush against the rake inside the basin, okay? All right, I have how to use the tools as another practice stroke, so I don't spend more time doing that. All right, now that is your flat brush string leaves, okay? I'm going to come back and use other brush sizes because, well, actually, let's go ahead and do brush sizes for leaves now. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the 2 colors, and if this isn't here, move it over and move this over. All right. This is a 16. Most people would rather use a 16 than a 3/4, but the bigger the brush, the more delicate the paint stroke looks, okay? So I want you to see, I can push it that big, or I can make it that small, or I can make it that small. All right. And this is great too for the vines. I know we can use the angle brush, but this works perfect if you're up on the chisel. So can you see this? The chisel is right up there. You lift the front, the dark green of the brush, and you drag the light green right behind to get your strokes. Then you just lay your brush, pressure, release, pressure, release. All right, now that's the 16. Now the 12, okay, we've got, here's a 12. It's the most used for different flowers and leaves, but I just want to show you that I can come in here, pressure or small. Okay, that's a 12. We're going to use that for a lot of petals on flowers. And then, so from a 12 smaller, now a 12 can do this, or anything below a 12. So this is what we do. Let's say I want to make some teal leaves, and I want them to have a little bit of citrus. Then I would come here and side load the citrus. So anything smaller, instead of trying to double load, which I did for many years, I found out if I do one color and side load the second color. All right, so here's our little push left, our little small leaves, and then you can pull your stems to these. All right, or I can use dark green. Now this is a 6, but I do have a 2 in the dark green handle brushes. All right, oops. So, but a 6 makes nice little small ones also. This is all sap. And then you pull, oops, don't pull your stem big like that. All right, so I'm going to take my stem and pull it into, and you can use your liner for some of these really little, your script liner to go into those. Okay, so I can do pink leaves, green leaves, all that's with a small brush. Okay, so from small, it all depends on what size surface. Like I do little jewelry with this, or I do a lot of face painting with my brushes, and most of the face painting you're going to use a 12 and smaller. All right, so let's go and let's pick up a different way. So now I'm going to do 2/3 Juneberry, 1/3 wicker white. Then I'm going to come here and work it in. Push hard, really hard. I lost my white. Pick up a little bit more. Okay, now dip the white or side load. Oops, you can't see it, sorry. Or side load. Or just dip, that's what I was telling you. So do you see it's 2/3, the Juneberry or whatever color your flower is. All right, so let me show you that this is that shell that we just did on our leaf. All right, so I'm going to come here and I put enough pressure that it blends the color. You see that? And I'm still pulling paint from the cubby where I loaded it right here. And so this seashell I use for lots of petals. All right, lots of petals, but it's also the beginning of the leaf. So just remember that. Okay, now I can dip white, stroke over here, because I just need fresh white. All right, now I'm going to come here and do a smooth stroke for the center and a second stroke here. But look what you can also do. You can take and make smooth strokes coming around and choppy little strokes in here. So you're going to get really good at, look, I'm going to chisel, flat. Now watch this. Chisel, flat, flat, flat. All right. You can do some more in here. But look, you're going to lean these out. And touch here, lean it out. Okay, all the way around. Okay, so this brush can help you get all those itty bitty little chisel strokes all in there on the chisel. You just lean the white, pull, lean the white, pull. All right, so now I can go all the way to the little flat 6, but let me show you. What I need is all Juneberry. And then I'm going to side stroke the white like I showed you before. All right, so then I can also come all the way around and do Juneberry, a little bit of white. I ran out of paint because it's a smaller brush. Just keep stroking white. See, now all I have to do is keep picking up white, no pink. All right, I always like to say the bigger the brush, the more delicate the leaf, the petal that you stroke. And then you don't have the heavy ridges of paint. So this is what I keep doing. I keep coming over here and going like this. All right. And then you're doing all these little strokes in here to get the flower that you want. Okay. Now, I'm going to, like I said, the 16 is a nice brush to do that with. So I'm going to come in here, pick up white and pick up blue in case they're not next to each other. This is Prussian blue. All right, but I can mix it. I can put some Juneberry in with the Prussian blue. So dip, 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 and then work it in. And then you only pick up like the one color you need when you come back over here. All right, so I want you to see that I'm going to push and get all the shading in one stroke, one stroke, one stroke. Now see, we blended shade and highlight, use the handle of the brush, and dip a center. Okay, and so everything I'm going to teach you will be like, here's a V. I'm going to touch here, pressure, guide it over, and then let the brush spring up. And that gives you that petal. All right. So, and then let me show you one more before we go. We're going to pick up, I double loaded, pick up both Juneberry and Wicker White, half and half instead of 2/3. And then I'm going to come over here and go up and over. Then we make a U. Just rosebuds, easiest first flower to do. Do another stroke and you're done. All right, this looks a little muddy because I was trying to be in front of you, but you can get a really pretty itty bitty rose by doing the same stroke. Okay, there we go. Now, this is all about helping you use flat brushes. We have 4 sizes in this set, plus I have other flat brush sizes. Like I said, keep the paint off of these. And there we are, all 4. All right. So enjoy. Flat brushes will be your favorite thing, I promise. Okay, bye-bye.